People of Universe, please welcome Thomas Dohmke.
Good morning. Thank you for being here, everyone. It's so great to see all of you. I'm Thomas, and I'm a developer. And today is the day I've been waiting for the last 8 months. Today, what we will do on the stage, how we will build, what we will launch, it will redefine the essence of software development itself. This is a moment long in the making. Now, if you recall, it was just a few weeks after GitHub Universe last year when AI had its big bang moment. ChatGPT exploded onto the scene. It washed over the airwaves. It was the most consequential disruption to technology since the advent of the internet browser. Our global consciousness has not been the same since. But for GitHub, our generative AI story did not start there. It dates back all the way to 2020. And it's documented in a white paper we internally call the Coding Oracle paper. Back in 2020, a group of our wildly talented engineers got their hands on a raw version of OpenAI's GPT-3 model. And with this model, they sought to answer a single question. Was an automated pair programmer fact or fiction? Could this transformer model, this strange, thoughtful machine, actually help solve the tasks of an everyday developer? Our team knuckled down and pulled together a bunch of tasks, like standard exercises developers often do in job interviews. I remember hopping on a call, and one by one, we fed these exercises into the model and observed what happened. And in 2020, out of 203 handcrafted programming exercises, when prompted, the model solved 93% of them. 3 years ago, it already solved 93%. This was the genesis. This was the moment. This is what won me over, and I tell you, it takes a lot to win over a skeptical German developer. And our engineers put that feeling down in writing that AI would, and I quote, change developer tools in fundamental ways. In particular, an automated pair programmer can be built that puts the collective knowledge of the entire GitHub community at the fingertips of every individual. Big statement, right? Early statement. But we took a risk and we built the world's first at-scale AI pair programmer, a novel tool with a large language model before the world was ready. And today, with more than 1 million paid users across 190 countries, GitHub Copilot is now the most widely adopted AI developer tool in history. And from this worldwide adoption, we have seen the most stunning evidence of productivity gains since we got rid of punch cards in assembly language. Already, Copilot is making developers 55% faster in coding. A 55% productivity gain, the biggest ever experience in the first year of a novel developer tool. And people truly love using it. Open source maintainers, students, teachers, developers in Fortune 500 companies. From Shopify to Mercado Libre to Mercedes to PwC, in just a short period of time, GitHub Copilot has become the greatest competitive advantage in any software-driven business. And now over 37,000 organizations are using Copilot to achieve more. It's been adopted by organizations at all sizes and across all sectors and industries. Today, the pair programmer we dreamed of in the Coding Oracle paper has accelerated beyond even our wildest aspirations. But AI-supported code completion was always just the starting point, the change agent for the bigger picture. Many professional developers actually only code like 2 hours a day. So what use is it if developers build blazingly fast in the editor just to drown in mundane tasks when the initial coding is complete? This was the conviction behind our Copilot X vision announcement in March. It was the first view of AI sailing beyond the editor and infusing the entire developer lifecycle. And we did not let that vision escape us, and in the last 8 months, we created something even bigger. In a world where developer shortages are on the rise, in a world where billions of lines of code form the foundation of the global economy, in a world where developers are still expected to keep up with COBOL, legacy code dating back to the 1960s, and yet still build for tomorrow, we simply have to make it easier for developers to do it all and to do it all with a Copilot. Just as GitHub was founded on Git, today we are refounded on Copilot. AI is now the electricity powering the home for the world's developers. In just a short time, the pair programmer that started it all has evolved, expanded, and transformed GitHub into the AI-powered developer platform. From the idea to the issue, to building and coding, to reviewing, securing, deploying, to GitHub.com itself, GitHub is now powered by Copilot every step. And this is real today, and we're going to show it to you right now.
Now, back in March, we shared Copilot Chat, our vision for conversational assistance with all of you for the very first time. Built right into your favorite editor, we designed Chat to help every developer build the big picture, all in natural language. We've made Chat even more powerful since. But seeing is believing, right? The contribution graph is cool, but today, I thought it'd be even cooler to build a new app called myfirstcommit.com to figure out when mine and every developer on GitHub's first commit happened. Now, we can see who in here is the real OG of GitHub. My least favorite part about starting a new project is the starting part. Who likes a blank space, after all? Thankfully, Copilot has me covered. With Chat, I'll be able to explain what I need all in natural language and skip all the boring project setup. I'm going to open the Chat panel in my editor to give me a bit more space to read. And then we're going to use a new / command to generate an entire project in Visual Studio Code. If you haven't used / commands before, they're a powerful tool to help you execute your most common chat commands with just a single word, saving you even more keystrokes. I've got a list of requirements already in my head, so I'll feed those into the new command and let Copilot build the scaffolding I need. We're going to use Next.js with React components and our design system primer, and we'll call the app myfirstcommit. You'll notice how Copilot gives me the structure for my new project, so I could create it right here. But I'm going to jump to a workspace Copilot created for me earlier that I've already started tinkering with. Let's see what we're working with here by heading to Simple Browser and typing in Thomas's handle. OK, we've got basic page navigation and most of Thomas's info, right? Honestly, I think you look better here, Thomas. Just kidding. So let's go ahead and replace this hard-coded image with the actual picture from his user data. I'll select the URL, delete, and Copilot comes to the rescue. I'll save that, and it's generally a good idea to keep tabs on the boss, so I'm going to add location here as well. We'll see Copilot is giving me exactly what I need. It never fails to be magical. And we also need to add this in the UI. And look, because we added location to our data, Copilot is smart enough to know that now we want to add it to the page. Tab, save, head back to the simple browser. There's the Thomas we know and love. OK, it's time to grab that first commit now. It's been a little while since I've used GitHub Search API, so I'm going to ask for a little bit of help from Copilot. And don't you love when you can type perfectly on stage under pressure? All right, we're going to ask Copilot, give it a second to think. It always likes to get my heart rate up just a little bit. But it always comes through. It's giving me exactly what I need. I'm going to review this really fast. That looks great. Head back over here to my editor, and we're going to insert this with just one click. That'll bug me if I don't fix it now. Great. We've got that started. Now I need to include the commit date here. Looks awesome. And once again, we have to update our UI. All right, Copilot, 99% there, but we want our first commit. So we'll save, head back. OK, we're almost there, but I'm pretty sure that data is wrong. And it looks a little funky. Let's see what's happening. All right. I see what I've done here. I don't have any ordering in. So I'm going to go ahead and select this, and we're going to use chat to help us figure out how to sort our commits here. I'll head back, and I'm going to say update to include, to sort rather, by committer date. Give it a second to think. All right, that's looking good. But you know, when I'm on stage, I kind of get ascending and descending mixed up, and I need the oldest commits first. So I'm going to ask Copilot to revise this answer by simply asking for the oldest to newest sort. Sort by oldest to newest. This is great because I can ask Copilot exactly what's in my mind, and it can translate it into the code I need. We'll take a look here. All right, that looks good. We'll go ahead and replace the line. Select, save. Oh, we've got something going on here. All right. You know what? I'm under time pressure here, so I'm just going to replace this with my trusty demo save. If anyone was second guessing if this was live or not, you've just got your answer. All right, this is looking good, but 2009, I was more worried about getting my driver's license that year rather than committing code. But I really don't need it down to the minute, so let's go ahead and clean that up. And rather than using the side panel like I've been doing, I can actually get Copilot to help me right in the editor, right on the line of code that I'm working on by pressing Command or Control-I. So for this line, let's ask to get rid of the time. Remove time and time zone. We'll give it a second to think. And, you know, I really love this new diff view because I can inspect the change before I actually agree to take it. And it's in a form that I'm so used to already. We'll save, head back. There it is. It's working exactly as we want. But that's not all. We've got one thing left, my favorite part, documentation. So let's head back. We're going to select the function we've been working in. And we're going to bring up Copilot using inline chat one last time and use our doc/command. All right, that looks good. We're going to accept. I got to tell you, I'm exhausted. I must have pressed tab like 10 times. And wow, I need a break. Now, Copilot Chat is coming to wherever you are, whether that's Visual Studio Code, Visual Studio, and now IntelliJ, WebStorm, PyCharm, and other JetBrains IDEs are available in preview today. Chat's in your favorite editors, but now it's also in your pocket. We're breaking out of the editor and bringing Copilot Chat to your native iOS and Android app. Pretty cool. With the power of natural language on your mobile device, you can get answers to any programming question about your repositories, files, or docs. That's Copilot wherever you go. whether you're waiting in line at a coffee shop or procrastinating in the morning when you can't quite get out of bed. Copilot Chat is now in your IDE. It's coming to GitHub Mobile, and it's getting way more powerful. We've upgraded Copilot Chat with the power of GPT-4 and even more context from your editor. Slash commands and smart actions, so I'm only ever a click away from solving my next development task. And finally, inline chat to help you iterate on code with Copilot without ever having to move your mouse. Everything I just rattled off, including the upgrades to Copilot Chat, chat coming to mobile, JetBrains, and even Copilot in the CLI will be in your existing Copilot subscription. Yes. You definitely heard that right. If you've got a Copilot subscription today, all of these features are coming to you. But when, you might ask? Next month. Copilot Chat will be generally available in just a few short weeks. All of this taken together will make natural language a new universal programming language for every developer on the planet.
Up until now, Copilot was just about code generation. That's changing today. GitHub is the AI-powered developer platform, from pull requests to security scanning to your repositories and more. Copilot is now integrated into every step of the developer workflow. Let me show you what I mean. So I've been working on styling the My First Commit app that Allison just started. It's coming along very nicely. Take a look. But I noticed that Thomas has been busy, and he submitted not one, but 2 PRs. So let's take a look at the first one. OK, so it looks like there are a lot of file changes here, but I'm not seeing any test. Oh, Thomas, coding 55% faster doesn't mean you get to write bad code 55% faster. So I'm going to open up this in a code space real quick, because even though Thomas wants to get this done quickly, I don't feel comfortable merging this without at least one unit test. And when I open up this in a code space, I don't even have to touch my local files. I can edit and make changes in an isolated dev environment in the cloud. All right, so I have the usercar.js component open. If I highlight the entire component, pop open Copilot Chat and type /test. Copilot is going to automatically generate an entire test suite for this component. Here it is telling me exactly what it's going to do. Then it gives me the test, and then it tells me how to run it. Wow, how cool is that? Let me save this new test in a file. I'm going to call it usercar.test.js. Awesome. Now, let me commit my changes real quick, because what I'm about to show you next is a game changer. Now, what I'm about to show you for the very first time is GitHub Copilot Chat integrated directly into github.com. That's right. Copilot has now expanded out of the editor. Let's take a look. So if I go back to the PR, and I go to, let's say, index.js, and select lines 25 through 45, click on the Copilot icon that pops up, and type, please explain this code. I always like to say please to the AI, because you just never know. But take a look at this. Copilot Chat is telling me exactly what this code is doing. And it even went as far as breaking down the code into chunks, so it's easy for me to read and understand. This is the power of Copilot Chat in github.com. Now, let's go back to the PR, because I noticed that the description was a bit lacking. By the way, did you know that around 40% of pull requests don't have a description? Yeah, Let's fix that. So we've added a new icon here for Copilot Actions. If I click on this summary command that popped up, Copilot is going to help us generate a detailed PR description. Copilot is no longer just in your editor. It is now integrated into PRs to help you with the mundane stuff like writing PR descriptions. Think about how long it takes you to come up with a meaningful summary of all your work. Let's just give it a minute. Woof! Would you look at that? Copilot just generated an entire description, very detailed, of all the changes that we've made so far. It even included little clicky links that I never would have bothered to add myself. Awesome. Now, let's take a look at that second PR. OK, so it looks like there's a security issue around an unsanitized user input. We know that with GitHub Advanced Security, code scanning has always been able to find vulnerabilities in your code. But now, you don't just get a notification. There's a complete fix suggested right here with the power of AI. This is called code scanning autofix. It suggests the changes you need to make to fix security vulnerabilities. If I click here, click commit changes, and just like that, we're secure. This is what we mean when we say that GitHub is the AI-powered developer platform. Now, I have some great news for you. This AI-powered code scanning autofix feature is available in preview today. And we're going even further with our security offerings, our AI-powered security offerings. GitHub Advanced Security has been able to scan for known secret patterns for a while. We have more great news for you. We're introducing a new AI-powered secret scanning tool, available in preview today. This will help you find secrets that don't have patterns, like passwords stored in source control, the cause of some of the most expensive exploits over recent years. Now, as we all know, the two hardest problems in computer science are naming things and regular expressions. So today, we're making it easier for you to write your own custom patterns with our new AI-powered regular expression assistant. This will all be included in your company's GitHub Advanced Security subscription. We are truly bringing AI to every part of the GitHub platform. And that means every part. GitHub.com is the home page for software development, where every project can begin, where developers collaborate, and where the open source community builds and maintains the world's code. Now, we're integrating Copilot directly into GitHub.com. This means you can dig into code, generate pull requests, and make the rest of your life so much easier, all with Copilot.
As we've just seen, code generation is an incredible tool. But one of the most challenging tasks when building software is understanding the complex systems we all work on. Developers today work on large, multi-service, multi-platform, multi-language, and often legacy code bases. To succeed, we have to build off a complex foundation, understanding all that code that came before us. With GitHub's powerful code intelligence, Copilot can help us get the critical information we need so we can build more faster. Let me show you how it works. Now, hold on. I'm logged in here to my personal account. Let me jump to my work account so I can show you how Copilot works for me as an employee here at GitHub. I'll use this brand new feature on GitHub.com where I can switch users with a single click. That's better. All right, let's ask Copilot a question about shortening URLs. How would I create a short link for my first commit? Large language models, like the ones that power Copilot, have strong generalist knowledge of programming languages, open source libraries, and popular frameworks. You can see here it suggested we use Bitly. Now, we've heard from organizations and developers that you want Copilot to know more about you, your code, your documentation, your pull requests, and we built just that. Now Copilot is an expert on your company's code base too. Today, what I'm about to show you for the very first time is Copilot customized to your organization. Here, let's point Copilot at our internal documentation site. At GitHub, we call our internal doc site the hub. And we have our own internal URL shortener, GHIO. I'll ask the same question again. How would I create a short link for my first commit? And now Copilot is searching through our internal documentation and using it to answer our question. So you can see here, it not only knows the correct chatops command to be able to create a short link using our internal service, it's inferring from my question what data to use in the command, and it's even giving me an example of how I could use it. Let me show you another example, this time using a project that I work on. Last year at Universe, we announced GitHub's all-new code search engine, codenamed Blackbird. And when we built it, we invented a new data structure to make search super fast, even at GitHub's huge scale. We call that data structure the geometric filter. I'll ask Copilot, what is the geometric filter? Now, we haven't published any information about it publicly, but now, because I've given Copilot access to this repo, it can answer my questions about my code. Take a look at the answer it's giving us. Copilot is referencing specific files and giving us a breakdown of exactly how this data structure works. This answer is about as good as you'd get from any member of the Blackbird team. Think about what that means. With Copilot, you now have an expert available anytime to answer questions about your code base right from your browser or IDE. And we're not done. We're taking the next step. We're now trialing fine-tuning the language model itself for several large customers, including AMD. By taking a model like GPT-4 and fine-tuning it on your company's code base, Copilot quickly learns to adapt to your company's unique coding style and conventions. We've seen that fine-tuning the model for customers with unique code bases can bring a massive performance improvement to their engineering teams. When combined with GitHub's powerful code intelligence and advanced fine-tuning, Copilot will feel right at home in your organization and help your company build even better together. But what about information that lives outside of GitHub? As developers, we all have a whole ecosystem of tools, like deployment infrastructure, monitoring, feature flags, and more. With Copilot, we can now bring information from all of these surfaces together in one place. Imagine, right from GitHub.com or your IDE, being able to check the performance of a database query in production by asking DataStax how it's performing. Using our new APIs for Copilot, developers can extend Copilot for nearly any use case right within chat. You could even check the status of a feature flag using Launch Darkly, or ask Postman if you're using an API correctly. We're kicking off the early phases of this program with our debut partners as part of our new GitHub Copilot Partner Program, including Red Hat, HashiCorp, Datadog, and more. We can't wait to see what you'll build.
It's been a year since ChatGPT sparked a GenAI revolution and kicked off a new era of innovation in both business and software engineering.
Take one.
Since that moment, Accenture and GitHub have been working together to make the promise of AI-assisted software development real. At Accenture, we consider ourselves customer zero for GitHub. We experiment, scale, and share our learnings from our own usage and client engagements to help GitHub innovate faster. We were the first global company of our size to pilot GitHub Copilot, and we quickly learned a few key things. First, the promise of efficiency gains are real across multiple phases of the software delivery lifecycle. The real value comes from speed, code quality and security, and developer experience. And where we see the biggest opportunity is integrating Copilot into an organization's end-to-end automation framework. Now, Accenture and GitHub are helping clients move beyond experimentation to make AI-assisted technology delivery pervasive. We are doing this by 1. Co-developing specific solutions using Copilot. 2. Integrating Copilot into Accenture's own automation platforms. And 3. By expanding Copilot to 50,000 Accenture developers. Accenture is proud to be at the forefront of AI-driven innovation with GitHub.
Pretty incredible, right? 50,000 developers at Accenture will fly at the speed of their own minds with Copilot. The original Copilot was just code completions, running inference on every keystroke. With Copilot Chat being generally available in December in Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code, and coming with GPT-4, inline chat, /commands, and powerful smart actions, Copilot has expanded from code suggestions to a true pair programmer powered by AI, one that answers questions, explains code, finds bugs, and writes tests. And it's also coming to your mobile devices, it's coming to the command line, it's coming to JetBrains IDEs. And I'm happy to announce that all of this, every feature I just said, is included in your Copilot subscription. And it's the exact same price as before. Now, $19 per user per month for organizations, $10 for individuals. And of course, it's still free for teachers, students, and maintainers of popular open source projects. But on top of all of this, we've consistently heard from many of our enterprise customers that they would love to have the internal knowledge of their organization in Copilot. Today, we're bringing this customization together with every single Copilot feature into a new product that we call GitHub Copilot Enterprise. From Copilot in your pull requests to Copilot in your documentation, Copilot Chat integrated in GitHub.com, all customized to all of you and your organization in one single offering. This personalized Copilot available at every stage of the software development lifecycle. By placing the collective knowledge of your organization's codebase at your developers' fingertips, they will not only write code 55% faster, they will keep the flow state and serve from idea to code to deployment while maintaining security, compliance, and quality. And they will be happy doing it. And I'm thrilled to share that we will start the preview of Copilot Enterprise today. And it will be generally available in February 2024 for $39. Copilot Enterprise will give rise to a new wave of digital transformation as we know it, and create a competitive advantage for every organization in our world that is dependent on software. But don't just take it from me. Today, we have got a special guest who knows quite a lot about digitally transforming an organization. Please join me in welcoming, for the very first time ever at GitHub Universe, the CEO of Microsoft, Satya Nadella.
Thank you. Oh, hi.
Great to see you, Satya.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Satya, I introduced you as the CEO of Microsoft, but you're really the biggest super fan of GitHub Copilot.
No, I am. I mean, in fact, I was just listening to all the announcements and reading up about it, and I must say, in the last, a year and a half maybe, since I've been using GitHub Copilot, my weekends have changed. I can code again. I mean, the joy of coding is back. I'd say code spaces, Copilot, and now I'm really looking forward to Copilot on GitHub.com because, man, it'll be so fun to just go to repo after repo and keep reading and explain this, explain this, explain this. I'll remember to say please, yeah.
And it's been 5 years, then since Microsoft acquired GitHub, and our industry has changed so much since then. How does our work together, led us to this moment with Copilot?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's 5 years since obviously we got to sort of steward GitHub. When I think about Microsoft, Thomas, to me, I'm always grounding myself, right? We were a developer company first. After all, the company got started creating dev tools. I always remind myself of that, and that's our core heritage. We're a platform company, right? So we build platforms so the developers can then build great IP on top of it. And we are a partner company, which is help those developers be successful in the marketplace. And that's at the core who we are. And quite frankly, GitHub has taken us to another level, right? Our ability to, we did a lot of work before we even decided that we had the right to steward GitHub. We made sure that we were great members of the open source community by really being part of the community, contributing to the community, and that's what led us to that. So it's been a fantastic journey, and here we are at this moment with Copilot and AI and ready for what is, I think, the next phase of our developer journey.
Yeah, awesome. And you mentioned a lot of companies. You meet with a lot of developers around the world. You get to meet with a lot of CEOs that hire developers to drive their transformation. What do we hear from them, and how can Copilot help them?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, even just listening to the video you just played and talked about. I mean, think about this. This is an at-scale organization like Accenture making the decision to go deploy something like GitHub Copilot enterprise-wide. That's a big thing. Usually, if you sort of look at the dev tools business and dev tool diffusion, it takes decades before those enterprise-wide things happen, and this is just happening, in less than a year, perhaps. A couple of things. One, at the end of the day, to me, I think all of us want to make sure that the people we work with have the best tools so that they feel empowered, they feel that they can stay in flow, they can do their very best work. And then, of course, the organization benefits from that in terms of productivity gain. So the unquestionable stuff is some of the productivity stats. And the productivity stats, by the way, is not just stats. It's about ultimately removing some of the drudgery, bringing the joy back, helping you stay in flow. Who doesn't appreciate that, right? Every developer appreciates that, and every dev manager appreciates that. And so to me, that's what we hear. And really, the other thing that I would say is I've always felt like when you introduce GitHub into an organization, workflow changes, right? We've always said, like when the salesperson is doing a pull request, it's a different org. It's moving at the speed of code. So now think about it, right? With Copilot and that speed of code fundamentally changing, what it means to what is a digital economy, right? If you're in the auto industry, you're in the financial industry, or in the pharma industry, pretty much everybody is a digital company and a software company. And so I'm very excited. Culturally, how do the organizations change? How does work and workflow change across all functions? It's just not the professional software developer, but everyone around them is collaborating and really making it a much more real-time digital organization. So that's the most exciting thing that I think everyone in this room gets to participate in, which is change their organization, help their organization achieve next level of transformation and productivity.
Yeah, incredibly exciting. And I saw I think it was a post on social media saying that natural language is becoming the new universal programming language. How do you think natural language will democratize access to software development?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think you look at all the demos this morning, and you feel like, wow, I can do that. Right? I mean, all I need is Copilot Chat, and here it is. I just sort of click, 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 and I'm real, tab, 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 and I'm done. I mean, this is like, it is, in some sense, the most empowering thing is to be able to give, right? I mean, we have, 100+ million people already on GitHub, but my dream is, like, how do we empower 1 billion people? And then the other billions around these billion people who are all collaborating with the power of natural language. Because if I look at the arc of computing, Our history of the last 70 years has been, can humans and computers interact in the most natural way? What's more powerful than natural language? Which, by the way, starts with language, goes multimodal, and so there's a lot to be said about sort of that thing that you just mentioned, which is natural language as the programming language. To me, also the other comment that one of the people in the morning sort of said, which I thought struck the chord with me, which is to say, wow, Copilot is the new IDE. I mean, think about the approachability, right? You have a middle school girl first learning coding. Just the approachability to be able to say, wow, you can express some complex thought and start seeing code, and you're going to get into coding. That is game-changing to me, right? Because natural language is about accessibility. It's about making the barrier to entry lower, and it's going to be stunning to me. The other thing that I'd also say is what you're doing, like some of the stuff that you're going to show and demonstrate around how about applying it at the repo scale, right? I think you call it Workspace, I think. I am so excited about it, right? Which is, hey, it's not just about, like, I go from an issue to code to test to deploy. If we can really make that entire flow really magical with natural language, and the product managers, the marketing folks, sales folks, and developers are all communicating in this multi-agent framework, that I think is going to be really next level. Maybe next year when we're back here, we can start talking about some of that stuff.
Incredible. Thank you so much for joining us in this moment.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Wow, what incredible insights and what an incredible keynote it's been. Today, we have shown you how developers can go above and beyond with the power of natural language and Copilot. And we truly think this AI-powered developer platform will change the world. Thank you for being part of all of this. And thank you to everybody at GitHub that worked so hard in the last few weeks to get us to this moment. And please give it up for our presenters, Allison, Kedasha, and Colin. But wait, don't switch off if you're online. I think I forgot something. And if you know me, you know that even in my teenage days, coding back in the 1990s, I've always admired Steve Jobs. And 13 years ago, on the stage here in Yerba Buena, Steve launched the iPad. And so I'm so excited to say this. There is one more thing. Steve talked a lot about the concept of machines accelerating human progress. He described the home computer as the bicycle of the mind, a new partnership between human and machine that could take us far beyond our own inherent abilities. And today, I can't help but think that we have arrived at the next phase of this partnership. Software developers' embrace of GitHub Copilot has shown the world how humans can symbiotically partner with intelligent machines to make big ideas even easier to deliver. Today, we are thrilled to announce an early glimpse of a revolutionary new future, and we're calling it Copilot Workspace.
Every day, millions of developers start from a very familiar place, GitHub issues. So we created an AI-native workflow that dramatically simplifies the way you use natural language to turn these great ideas into code. We call it the Copilot Workspace. Starting with any GitHub issue, Copilot Workspace automatically proposes a solution based on its deep understanding of the codebase, issue replies, linked tasks, everything. Copilot Workspace then builds a step-by-step plan to implement the changes so that you know exactly what needs to be done. And if something isn't quite right, the spec and plan are fully editable, so you can easily steer Copilot in the right direction. Once you're happy with the plan, simply click Implement and let Copilot chase down the necessary changes across your entire repository. And beyond simply synthesizing code, Copilot Workspace builds and tests the changes and validates that they're successful. It will even run your code so you can verify the fix visually. This looks great! Since the workspace is designed for collaboration, you can edit any of the suggested changes. And if you accidentally introduce an error along the way, Copilot will automatically catch it repair it, and rerun the code. Once the issue is fixed, it's easy to create a pull request with a generated summary of your work. This lets your team review, merge, and deploy faster than ever. We're building Copilot Workspace so you can turn your creativity into reality every single day.
Copilot Workspace is just one of the horizon visions our team at GitHub Next is developing. When Workspace is released in 2024, we will be a consequential leap closer to an age where developers can use AI as a second brain to stream creativity into creation in minutes, all with natural language. And I think it's just the beginning. This intersection of human artificial intelligence will continue to define the future generations of GitHub, the AI-powered developer platform. Thank you so much for joining us today, and have a great GitHub Universe.